This is screencast number 1 on calculating surface area. First of all, surface area is the total area of the surface of a three-dimensional object. So if we're looking at number 1, we have a rectangular prism. So for this rectangular prism, surface area is going to be the area of all 6 faces, and then we are going to find the area of all 6 faces and then add them all up. So let's first look at the front of the box. So I'm highlighting in the front of the box right here. Okay, we have a rectangle. So if we want to find the area of the front, we have it's 5 by 10. So to find the area, we do 5 times 10, or length times width. So then 5 times 10 will give us 50. When we're dealing with a rectangular prism, we know that the front rectangle is going to be the same exact area as this back rectangle. So since the front is 50, and that would be inches squared, we know the back side is another 50 inches squared, so we can add another 50, or we could do the same thing by doing 50 times 2. So then we get 100 inches squared, and that's for the front piece and the back piece of the rectangular prism. Now I'm going to use a different color. So I'm going to use blue, and I'm going to use this blue color, and I'm going to highlight the left side of the box and then the right side of the box, because we know the two rectangles directly across from each other will both have the same area. So now we need to find the length and the width of that rectangle. Right now we see the length is 7, and then the other side of this rectangle, well, we have to look over here. Well, that length would be 5. So then we need to find the area of the rectangle by doing length times width. So then we have 7 times 5. Which equals 35. Since we know the right side and the left side of the box are the same, we have 2 dimensions that are both 35 inches squared. I'll just include the inches at the end. So 35 and 35. So the total surface area for the 2 sides is 70 inches squared. Okay, next I'm going to use, again, a different color, because so far we did 4 sides of a rectangular prism, and now we need to do the other sides because we have a total of 6. So now what we left out was the bottom of this rectangular prism, and the bottom has the same area as the top. Now let's look at the bottom because we're given the dimensions. So we have the length is 10, width is 7. So if we want to find that bottom area, we are going to do 10 inches times our 7 inches, and that's going to give us 70. So again, this is the area of the bottom, but we know the top has the same exact area. So let's add 70 again, or you could do 70 times 2. And then we get 140. So the green represents the bottom and the top of our rectangular prism. Next, we want total surface area. So if we want total surface area, we are going to then add find the sum of all of the surfaces together. So I'm just going to draw a line underneath here, and I'm going to add this all up. So I have 100, and you can use a calculator, 100 plus 70, and then plus 140, and I get 310. And we're talking about area, so that's going to be our square units of inches squared. Okay, next one. So we have question number 2. We have another rectangular prism. So again, I'm going to use my color red, and I'm going to first, let's highlight, let's do the front of the box. And again, doesn't matter where you start, but let's start at the front. So we know the front is the same as this back of the box. So this box kind of looks like, I would say it looks like a cereal box. So we have the one side of the cereal box and like that other side, and you have where the nutritional facts are on. So let's just look at one side at first. Well, we know right here we have a width or length of 1.1. And then we need to know the other side of our rectangle. So if we look right here, that's going to give us that long side of our rectangle. So we're going to do 1.1 times then 2.6. So I'm going to use my calculator, type that in, 1.1 times 2.6, and I get 2.86. And we're talking about area, so that will be millimeters squared. But first, before I add my units, this just represented, we just multiplied length times width. So that's only giving me one rectangle. We know that back rectangle is the same exact size, so I'm going to add another 2.8. So then we have to add those together. So we have 2.8 plus 2.8 is 5.6. And then that's going to be millimeters squared. Okay, next one. I'm going to use a different color so you can see what I'm doing. Let's do blue. And I'm going to highlight the left and the right side of my box. So I have this side, and then which is the same as this side in blue. I'm going to focus on this right side that I just highlighted in blue because down here it has my length and width on the two sides of that rectangle. So I'm going to take my 1.5 millimeters times my 2.6 millimeters. And that's going to give me the area of one single rectangle. So I'm going to type it in, 1.5 times 2.6, and I get 3.9. And since that only represents one rectangle, we have the same rectangle on the opposite side with the same measurement, so we're going to add 3.9 again. And that's going to get me 7.8 millimeters squared. And then last one is the bottom one. So then I have in green, I'm going to highlight the bottom, which is the same as the top. And we have 1.1 times 1.5. And then we had to multiply it and then double it to find the top and bottom.